it, and especially in the fall. Okay, so we're recording. If we move then to the left, I have a Heptacodium myconoides, which is a 7 sunflower. That is a tree from China. It's a beautiful, beautiful tree, multi-stemmed, exfoliating bark, very sculptural. I'm trying to bring in elements that will work again with his sculptures and with the building and be some kind of specimen planting. That would be a specimen. That tree blooms in October, which is really nice, white, and then it gets pink calycils. The seed pods are really a bright pink. And you actually notice the pink pods more than you do the flowers, covered with butterflies in October. It's just an incredible tree. And that stays pretty narrow, and that could get up to be about 18 feet tall. Rounding the corner, Bill likes the Hakura Nishiki willow. It's a variegated willow. I have that in the corner of the gallery. That would be on a standard. So it's grown as a tree form. It's a wide shrub, really nice color and texture. And to screen those utility areas there, I put a Fothergilla, which is a native shrub, native more to a little bit south of us, but it is a native to the United States. Spring, they call it bloomish shrub. Bottle brush flowers in the spring, really fragrant, colors up beautifully in the fall. And in front of that, a low-growing hydrangea quercifolia, which is an oak leaf hydrangea, a variety called ruby slippers, that native also to the south of us, but a really beautiful shrub, be spreading, and it's a bit stoloniferous, so it'll be a nice ground cover. And in amongst those would be planted some perennials. Across the parking lot, just to give some texture and some screening there, I have specified 3 of the Thuja plicata, which are the green giant, the western arborvitaes, because they are less prone to deer damage. So that's basically it. We talked a lot about the potential of adding more plants, but we really, the gallery is designed to also show sculptures outside. So most of this area will maintain as lawn for the time being, so that Bill has the opportunity to really see how he can use the site to best show the sculptures to help facilitate the sale of those sculptures, which is the key for it. So that's in a nutshell. If you have other questions, let me know.
Mm.
No questions?
Nope.
Sold. Okay, good.
Nope.
Anything?
Nice.
Looks good.
Did that answer your questions, Frank, as well? And Ellen? It gave you more info? Okay.
You totally addressed it. I'm fine with this. I actually think
Okay.
this looks really good. I think the let me just look at what you're called. The liquid amber. So are the lower branches, is it clear? Do you see the trunk? Or does the foliage go all the way down to the base?
They're actually pretty low branch shrubs, unlike birch trees that you like to limb up because you want to see that trunk and you'll see through it. The liquid ambers, they branch fairly lowly, like 1.5 feet to 2 feet off the ground. And it's a really tightly branched tree. I've been using them quite a bit as accents. They're really beautiful trees. If you're familiar with Washington Depot, the old drugstore that's right in the center of town, right by the Judy Black Park, there's a pretty mature slender silhouette right in the corner of that building, and it's got to be 6 or 8 feet wide, and it's about 25 feet tall, and it's a beautiful, beautiful tree.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is, in addition to that size, it is a native. As I said, I like to use native plants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
Beautiful.
graphicness. I like the graphicness, especially of the ribbon grass. I think that's going to be really beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
I would keep it. I mean, that's just fun. I would keep it minimal like this. Just sort of feels in keeping with what's going on.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Good.
Nice.
Anybody else? Questions? We're good.
Good.
We make a motion. We can make a motion to congratulate you on getting this going so well, and have
Awesome.
it open. Yeah.
Yeah. Things are moving along. Things
Yeah.
are moving along well.
Great.
Nice.
And I think one of the things one of the things we had all talked about was the idea of softening the space of the building. And it seems like you guys really incorporated that so beautifully, and adding to the sculptural idea of the building itself with the trees that you've chosen. So it really just seems like a perfect fit.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Rich.
So I'll make a motion to accept so these are, what we're looking at is phase 1 and phase 2. And phase 2
Correct.
is, like you said, Rich, is not necessarily happen this year, but it might be
No.
within the next year.
I think Bill and I
Two.
discussed shooting for like the fall of next year to start implementing phase 2. If not the fall of next
Okay.
year, then the
So
spring of the
next year.
following. It really depends on availability
Yeah.
of materials. This year, it's been a terrible year for material availability. So you know, we're at the
Yeah,
mercy of what the wholesalers have.
right. So your plan is, because you seem so dedicated to the species that you've chosen, that you will rather than select a substitute, you'll stick to these, and if it takes 6 more months to get them in, so be it.
Well, that's something that Bill and I will discuss. I do have a note on the plan. I put it on all my plans that substitutions would be permissible depending on availability at the time of planting. And if there are any changes, we can talk with Donna or beforehand and say that we need to change this because this is not
Yeah.
available.
Right, but in keeping, I think it sounds like whatever you would substitute would be certainly in keeping with what this concept is.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I don't
Oh,
know if
definitely.
it's necessary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you guys agree with that too? Yeah, okay.
See, I'm used to working in a much stricter environment
Um,
when it comes to wetland planting, and we have to be very specific. And I always meet with the enforcement officers. Donna knows I've met with her numerous times in that situation. So
Okay. Great. So, all right, I will make a motion to accept this plan as we have it.
I will second.
And someone wants to, there we go.
Awesome.
We're good to
Great.
go.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Billy. It looks fabulous.
Thanks.
thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
everybody.
Thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
All right,
Okay.
take care. Be well.
And I am about to call John. Our next application here is John on 13 Lane Street to remove for some trees. So John, would you like to just let us know what you got going?
Sure. Have you, good evening, everybody. Have you all received the email that I sent to Donna with photographs? And,
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
My wife and I are the contract vendee on 13 Lane Street. And we're due to close in the middle of December. And I noticed it, I'm sure if any of you have perused the property, as well as my underwriter and my arborist, a number of trees that are dangerous. If we refer to the not to scale plan that I sent you all, there are a number of trees. There are 2 trees on the west side of the lot that the neighbor at 11 Lane has had the line surveyed, and he demonstrated that both of those trees are in the 13 Lane Street lot. One of them is clearly dying, another one of them split, and he, as well as I am, are concerned about the proximity to his property with the trees that are those 2 trees that are on Tony's property that currently they represent a problem for him. So he went out and he surveyed it, and he intended on serving Mr. Zanino with a demand to remove the trees. And I said, well, we're bringing an arborist in if we have approval from ARB immediately after closing. and we would certainly put those on the list. Then as we move through the lot, we go to the south side of the building. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this building. There's about an 18-inch setback from the property line to the structure itself. So if you were viewing it from the parking lot side, moving from left to right, you'll see a huge maple that has grown to a point where it's compromising the corner. That would be the south west corner of the building, and has some really large limbs overhanging the garage that's occupied by Al McLean and his cabinetry shop. Also to the right of that large maple, there are trees that are growing out immediately adjacent to the slab on grade that we would also like to take out, because eventually they're going to compromise the integrity of the building. But more importantly, they could drop limbs on top of the roof. So we're trying to mitigate that danger of having a limb come through the roof. On the west side of the property, also back where the shop studio is, there are two more maples. The middle one is probably the most dangerous tree on the lot. And then the tree immediately to the north of that is also hanging over the garage. And we move another, also on the westerly wall, you'll see a photograph of another maple that I'm not so sure it needs to come out, but it definitely needs to be trimmed and brought back, because it's overhanging the roof of the house in front. Now, forgive me, I am in the midst of a power failure here. So I'm speaking to you on my iPhone, and I can't see the email that I sent you all. But in a nutshell, that's what we're looking. I understand, and I love trees as much as anyone else, but we're simply not going to be able to underwrite with insurance the way these trees are currently hanging over the structures.
Right.
There are also a couple of pictures that show you where trees have split or where their core is rotten. So I feel like time is of the essence on this, and we've put an additional amount of money aside, in addition to closing costs and deposit and financing, to immediately bring our arborist in to perform this work. So I'm not sure if we can even buy insurance with the condition that the trees are in right now. And it's kind of unfortunate that they weren't maintained over the years, but this is where I find myself, and I feel like I'm somewhat between a rock and a hard place.
Clearly, this property has needed some attention for a while, so I think it's lovely that you're taking it under wrap here.
Yeah, I mean, our intention eventually is to move to Kent and contribute to the community and be it's such a vibrant place that we're very excited about our future.
Good. There may be a space on ARB for you. We are looking for a new application.
I'm the former mayor of my community. I spent 12 years in public service, and
There you go.
I know what a labor of love you guys go through.
Yeah. So, any other questions, Frank? Pete? No. Good.
I think you have
Make a
to be
motion
practical in
to-
this in a case like this, and so of course we're not gonna object to this.
Well,
Of course.
I certainly appreciate that, and I also appreciate that Donna facilitated my appearance in front of you.
Great.
It saves time, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. And John, just an aside, John, that you in the darker color, you look really good. So I might switch to a phone
Well-
visit myself next time.
Well,
Like
you
this.
have to have a
Nice,
broad,
this is good.
bright ball dome.
I'll make a motion to accept the plans from
I'll
John
second it.
to take care of the trees. Okay, good luck with that property.
Thanks very much, and I hope to make everybody proud of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll sign off then, and
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Bye now.
Okay, bye-bye. The last thing on the agenda is the schedule for 22 coming up. And if you see that, just to, all the meetings are
Can I
lined
make
up.
a request?
Yeah.
When somebody submits a landscape plan, could they, can we ask them to submit cut sheets of what the plants look like? Because it's, I mean, descriptions are good, but visuals are better.
Yes, for sure.
Is that fair to ask?
Yes.
Donna, yeah?
Oh, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I think it
just
would
do
be
what
for
you
me.
ask.
I mean, if, is anyone else in this, does anyone else agree, or are you guys good with just the?
I think that's reasonable, Derek. I
Okay.
know the plants when he started talking about them, so I don't have an objection to it, but I think it would be really helpful.
I mean, I knew a couple of them, but some I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so it would be helpful to me.
And keeping in mind, it's an incredibly important building that was just put up. So I think that's a good decision. So,
So anyway, I
and
interrupted
we-
you. You were talking about the next.
the next, so
Meeting,
we just
next
kind
year's
of, we have to actually just, we have to accept these dates. Is that correct? Do an
Yeah.
official acceptance of them.
Yep,
Okay.
yeah. State statute requires that all of your meetings are filed with the town clerk 30 days before the first meeting. So this will carry you through the year, making these what they call regular meetings. And something that we do every year. And
Okay,
everyone is the first Tuesday of the month. There were none that needed to be moved for holidays or anything like that, so.
okay. Very good.
Good.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept these. We, Steve sort of slid out the back door. I never knew that he had left the committee, so we have an opening for us.
Do you want to do a second for the calendar
Um,
first?
Oh,
Back it up. Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yeah.
I'll
Derek
second it.
seconded.
Okay,
Okay,
all right. Thanks.
Sorry.
That's okay, no
and
worries.
that was all. We don't have to discuss it. We just have that opening, so if anybody, I think if anybody knows of anybody or has, pass that along to fill our spot. That's all I have. Anything else?
Are you back on East Coast time?
I am. Although I forgot to change my clock, so I didn't do very well today.
Don't clocks
I showed
change
up somewhere. I
themselves
showed up
nowadays?
an hour early. I showed up an hour early for an appointment today already, so I'm just, but anyway. And I think we're good to go then, yeah?
Okay,
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 6 o'clock.
Noted.
second it.
Okay,
All right, guys.
All
That
right.
was
all
good.
right. Thank you.
Short and sweet.
Have a good evening. Yeah,
Thanks, you
You
guys.
too.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye, guys.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.